Hello and welcome to StratiGG, where we like to geek out, spread fun, love and snuggles in strategy games and more. I'm snuGGleona and today we are playing round 3 of the 70% tournament. Settings for this round: the map is Pangea, game type obviously 70% domination, as it is the 70% tournament. No blizzards, no fog, no portals. So, more vanilla type game. Card bonus progressive. Alliances are on. And dice rolls are Balanced Blitz. Now, if you haven't played the Pangea map before, it is quite a clustered map. Not many choke points. It's like a big blob, which you will see as we get into the game. So, without further ado, let's see how I get on. May the spawn gods show me favor as we head into this 70% tournament game on the Pangea map. We are in the second position. Looking at our starting positions, we have some positions over in the top right, the coveted starting positions, because those are the few small bonuses that can potentially be held on this map. And we see pink rush straight for one of those bonuses. Unfortunately, we get a 2 of mine hits turn 1, which means I don't get the additional troop from having over 12 territories. I only get 3. I'm not going to have enough to take this bonus turn 1, unfortunately. And there is a bot in this game. The yellow player is a bot, and there is a 2. There was a chance it was going to add everything to that 2 and potentially roll my position, which is why I move away from it on this turn 1. With potentially looking at maybe trying to take that bonus in a turn or 2. The bot does bot things in the center of the map. Here we have the white player's turn. And they too get a bit greedy. They too want to stake a claim for this bonus over on the right hand side. This prevents me from being able to take it, unfortunately. And I am not happy with that. I throw the frowny face. I suggest to whites that maybe they should try and break pink rather than trying to mess with my game. We shall see if they decide to take my advice on that or not. They do have a 7. Depending on where pink puts their troops next turn, they could slow roll and potentially break that pink bonus. It would be a highly risky play on their part, though. We see the other players just playing a standard progressive strategy, trying to build up some stacks around the boards. Purple moves towards the pink bonus. Maybe they're thinking about trying to help to break it. We'll see how these players decide to progress into that. Unfortunately, we have been smacked hard and we're down to 19 troops already. It's not looking good, but I'm not going to just back down from this white player trying to muscle in on what was basically my bonus. Here we see the white player saying, "I'm sorry, but I need to attack your territory." That's them trying to bully me out of that position. Not gonna happen. Not going to happen any day of the week. I don't think so, white player. And we end up with 2 wildcards. Turn 1 and turn 2, getting 2 wildcards, which could prove useful if we manage to make it to the trade-ins. The bot continues to do bot things in the center of the map. And now comes white's turn. Do they try to break pink? Or do they continue to just be an absolute pain over on this right-hand side? They remove the bot position, which was a good move. But they don't roll any of pink. And again, white tries to send messages to bully me out of the position that was mine from the beginning. Not gonna happen, guys. Not gonna get out of that position. As you can see, I am pink's natural kill target. Unfortunately, they have great lines on me and they've been allowed to hold this bonus. Both the white player and the purple player are not trying to team up to break the pink bonus. So if I move from this top right position, it makes it even easier for pink to get a kill on me and potentially sweep this entire game. Now, what I think the white player should have done here was let me take that bonus so that I'm not so weak and not such an easy kill for the pink player. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like white is playing that strategically that far in advance. They are only thinking in the short term, trying to greed out and take a +2 bonus for themselves, rather than trying to think, how can I prevent other players from just taking an easy victory in this game? It's not an easy thing to do. Not everyone can kind of see that far in advance. So I understand white's play here. They want the bonus, but there's no way that they should be allowed to take it, especially after trying to block me as they did. So I'm just going to keep that position up in the top right hand corner and try to develop more positions around the map. Unfortunately, the bot does bot things, loses nothing, rolling a 3 stack of mine with a 5 stack. So yeah, that was unfortunate, but bots are gonna bot. White player continues to add on their various stacks across the board. It does not move out of that position. Does not try to counter pink at all. Now, what I would be doing, well, obviously, unfortunately, I'm not in a position to do this because I've been so weak from the beginning. Right from the start, a lot of my territories were hit by the bot, and I was not allowed to take that bonus. So my troop count is, as you can see, quite a bit behind everyone else's now. So I'm a bit too weak. What the purple and white players should be doing here is preventing pink from holding that bonus. They should have done it a lot earlier than this, but they could have been in alliances saying hit the pink player, and they could have each slow rolled a bit to get the stack down and break that bonus. Because as it stands at the moment, the pink player is being allowed to accrue a massive advantage in this game, to the point where, and because I've been left so weak as the circumstances are right now, the pink player pretty much is going to get a super easy kill on me, take all my cards, and then just sweep the entire game. So what White's strategy is actually going to play out to be is a detriment to their own game. Their greed is going to lead to their own downfall in these circumstances. We see purple has also moved into a kill line on me, seeing how weak I am. This does, thankfully, add a little bit of a kill guard up in that top right position. So pink doesn't quite have as good lines on me anymore. But if you look at my positions, you will also notice that purple is also kind of lining up on me as well. The blue player has a solid position right now, with a 5 stacks dotted reasonably well around the entire map. So blue's game is looking pretty solid right now. They are hard to kill and they have some good positioning in terms of trying to snag that bot kill should it become available. I'm feeling a bit insecure about this bot's 3 stack there being next to my 4 position down in the bottom. As we've seen, the bot seems to like me in this game, so I'm thinking I need to get this 4 away from that bot stack. But even with the circumstances, my game isn't looking that dire. I'm definitely going to make it to the first trade-ins, is my feeling. I have 4 positions across the map, so it's not looking too bad. However, pink does have amazing lines on me. And they would have a super easy kill if the line up in the top right ever opened up again. So purple and white needed to be aware of this. They need to keep those positions there, and that's why I keep adding up at the top right. That's the only position that's going to keep me alive from pink and stop pink from just having an easy sweep of this entire game. As you can see, we're just getting to the first trade-ins now, and the pink player has double my troops. So when we get to that all-important second round of trades, pink is going to have such a massive troop lead over me that the kill attempt on me is going to practically cost them nothing. And they would potentially set in, well, they would definitely set in again, and just be able to chain it to a victory as early as the second round of trade-ins, as things stand now. So The white and purple player really need to keep those kill guards in the top right in place. Blue is continuing their solid gameplay, just bolstering their stacks in their various positions. Now, as purple makes the move in the top left there, I immediately see an opportunity to move one of my stacks away from one of the pink stacks and possibly allow purple to move down with that 4 in the top left to add another barrier between pink and one of my stacks. So that's what I plan to do on my turn. Pink's troop lead continues to grow, being allowed to continue still to hold that bonus. I don't need to use any wildcards in my trade-in. I already know what my turn is going to consist of. I need to keep that top right position strong. And I bolster my other positions. And then I move in the top left to hopefully get snug in there behind purple. Hopefully that purple 4, if purple understands my communication, can move that 4 down and block that pink 6 from coming up to hit my 7. So I know I have a trade on 3. I am looking very weak, so I'm considering just using it, even though it uses up both wildcards. I am really considering using that trade on 3. White player has a strong 4 position play. They are continuing to just sit up there in the top right, not really countering pink at all. White's positioning is not really a game winning position for whites. They are not really lining up on anyone. They're just sitting and waiting, hoping someone fails, I think. That seems to be the strategy. Blue's gameplay is really, really solid. 5 positions all over the map. And they seem to be lining up for the bot kill when it comes. Here comes purple's trade-in. Now we see them adding in positions, and that 16 there tells me immediately what their intentions are. They add another 17. I see them going for it, and I know immediately this is an oops. They're not gonna take it, or even if they do, I mean, they could have got the kill, but even if they got the kill, it was not a game-winning move. By no means. It was just feeding the game at that point. And they have practically hard-fed the game to pink now because I'm so weak. I'm such an easy kill, and I would have been an easy kill anyway. The only position that would have stopped pink from being able to kill me was that top right position, but purple rolled that first. And so, yeah, this game is already over. All the other players can see it. Pink has just been fed this entire game. They're about to sweep the whole game, chaining all these kills, all these trade-ins. So there I go. Pink ends their turn on 4 cards. With a massive troop lead. Pink almost certainly has a trade on 4, as is most likely. And as the other players take their cards, they all form the sweep kill chain that pink is going to be able to take advantage of. Looking at this game here, is there a way that any of these players could stop pink from just easily winning now? It is difficult because the bot is so clustered in the center. There isn't really a place where the players could potentially kill guards the bots from yellow being able to start that chain on them. I think the only way they could have prevented this is if every other player, white, blue and purple, all hit some of pink right now. But as you can see, white did not. White, again, it just does nothing. Blue had a trade on 3 and decides to just sit because, again, they can see the writing on the wall. There's nothing they can do. They're hoping to just survive and get those 2 survival points. Purple is in a bit of a panic now. They can see the writing on the wall as well. They can see their massive mistake, their massive misplay. And they're trying to do something, but it's not enough for just purple to have done it. Blue and white had to have joined in. The purple just can't do enough damage. Pink is still going to set in and still going to chain all these kills one after the other and just take the whole game. There goes purple. Pink is going to trade in again from the cards. Then it will be, they just have their pick of yellow or white. White obviously has fewer territories than yellow, so white is the easier kill target. So it looks like they're going to go for white first. There are no placement points in this tournament. Only the player that wins gets 7 placement points for first, and any bounties that any player gets. They only count if you win. So pink is getting an absolute ton of points in this tournament from this game. Absolutely massive hard feed by the purple player. And to a lesser extent, I would say also the white player, who spent too long trying to interfere with my game without really fully considering all the ramifications that would come from that. Namely being that they were leaving me massively too weak and a really easy target for the pink player, who was allowed to hold the bonus for so long when the white player and the purple player could have broken them. They could have teamed up, and there was a point where they didn't need to team up. They probably could have just individually broken them as well, but that never happened. So the game was practically fed to pink already. Just with those failure to break, interrupting me, keeping me weak for some, I can only imagine a possibility of them getting my bounty. But again, in this tournament, you only get bounty points if you win. So lining up bounties like that isn't strategically viable. You have to be playing for the win and preventing other people from having easy wins, which they did not do in this game. They practically just set pink up to win this entire game with their strategy. It was massively misplayed by purple and white. I mean, pink was practically gifted that bonus turn 1. I don't blame them for taking it, but the other players definitely should have done something about it. Blue player, I mean, they just played a solid game. They had great positioning across the board. And they just played the game as though they were looking towards that win at the end, rather than any kind of shenanigans of trying to interrupt other players or trying to make other players weak to line them up for a potential kill later. The blue player just played a solid game for a 70% progressive. I can't fault their game at all. Pink can't fault his game. He took the bonus because he got a god spawn turn 1. Obviously purple with the massive hard feeds. Purple did an incredible blunder. It was a massive misplay going for my kill. They did have the kill on. They got a bad roll in the bottom, so they were potentially, or they should have definitely got my kill, but in so doing they wouldn't have gotten the bounty points, because taking my kill was definitely not worth it at that point troop wise, and it wasn't going to lead them to the victory. Pink was already on a landslide trajectory at that point. They hadn't interrupted them. So the game was already over, no matter what happened to me at that stage. Purple just hard feeding me to pink just sped up the end game, in my opinion. White, too short-sighted, in my opinion, their strategy. They tried to greed out to bully me out of that bonus. When preventing me from taking the bonus, just served me up on a platter to the pink player. And in this instance, made me look like an appetizing kill for the purple player, even though that was just inevitably feeding the game to pink. So, yeah, very tricky settings, very blobby, closed, kind of all-together map. Not really any choke points. You can get to everywhere from everywhere else, so getting kill guards in place, very difficult. What did you guys think? Did I make any mistakes? Would you have done something differently? Was there something I didn't see in that game? I would love to get any tips, tricks, advice, and or criticism down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to improve my game. I don't think there was anything I could have done differently in that, given my starting position. Do you disagree with my analysis of the other players' games? Please feel free to let me know your opinions on that as well. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the content, why not hit the subscribe and like button so you don't miss out on future content. See you next time for some more fun, love and snuggles in our never-ending quest for the GG.